The story of a donkey who changed everything. Many years ago, in a village in Palestine, lived a poor woodcutter who had to work every day cutting down trees just to put food on the table for his family. He had a donkey that helped him carry the wood back to the village, but one day the donkey got sick and died. This devastated the woodcutter because he didn't have enough money to buy another donkey. And without an animal to help him carry the heavy loads, he would earn even less money. So he decided to do something drastic. He took his axe and started chopping up his dead donkey into pieces and made some kind of strange soup out of it. It wasn't exactly tasty, but it was nutritious, and so he fed it to his children. But instead of making them sick like he had expected, the next morning they woke up feeling healthier and stronger than ever before. The woodcutter's wife suggested that they should sell this donkey broth to other people in the village and make a profit from it, and that's exactly what they did. Every day the family woke up early, chopped up more of the donkey into bits, cooked it into a special soup, and sold it to the villagers. Everyone loved this dish because it gave them so much energy. Some people said it even made them feel a little happier. Since donkeys were common in those days, nobody thought it was weird eating donkey meat. They were so successful with their new business that eventually they had enough money to buy a new donkey. And they continued selling the donkey broth every single day, getting richer and richer. It may sound disgusting to eat a donkey, especially if you're not used to eating that kind of meat. But for the poor woodcutter and his family, this was a blessing from God. It saved them from poverty and hunger. The moral of this story is that sometimes we have to be willing to do things that are outside our comfort zone in order to achieve success. And we don't know when an opportunity will come knocking at our door, so we always have to be prepared. Also, never waste a crisis. Always look for solutions and ideas that can help you turn a bad situation into a good one. If you liked this story, then definitely check out this next one too. It's about a man who accidentally broke a very expensive vase at a friend's house, but then he came up with a smart idea and turned the whole situation around. A rich man's mistake. Once upon a time, there was a rich man who had a beautiful house with a big garden full of flowers and plants. One day, he invited all of his friends over for a party. As soon as they arrived, his friends noticed a beautiful vase in the middle of the table, but the rich man warned them not to touch it because it was very expensive. Of course, they all promised they would be careful and left the vase alone. However, the party went on late into the night, and eventually the rich man got drunk. His friends had to help him walk so he wouldn't fall over. But suddenly he tripped over and fell right onto that vase, breaking it into pieces. The rich man was horrified when he saw how much damage he had caused. He apologized to his friends and told them he would pay them back for the vase, but they said it was fine and not to worry about it. But the next day, the rich man couldn't stop thinking about what he had done. He felt guilty and sad. Then he had an idea. He took some of the pieces of the broken vase and made a mosaic out of it, putting it in a frame and hanging it on the wall. All of his friends liked it so much that they asked if they could buy it from him, but he refused. Instead, he told them he would make them each a mosaic piece by piece. Of course, it took a long time, but every friend received a unique piece of art from the rich man. They hung it in their own houses and reminded everyone who had given it to them. In fact, they became so popular that many people asked where they could buy similar mosaics. The friends knew exactly where to go, and so the rich man became even richer thanks to his mistake. The moral of this story is that mistakes happen, and it's no use regretting them. We should try to learn from them and see what good things can come out of them. Sometimes mistakes can even lead us to even greater success. If you enjoyed these stories, make sure to watch the next one too. It's about a king who didn't have any money left and ended up selling his kingdom. The king's big mistake. There was once a king who liked to live large. He loved throwing parties and inviting all kinds of people to his kingdom. However, as time passed, he ran out of money and couldn't afford to keep his kingdom running. At this point, he had no choice but to sell it to a wealthy merchant for 20 gold coins. As soon as the deal was done, the merchant became the new king and kicked the old one out of the castle. He was now homeless and didn't know what to do. The old king walked through the forest, upset and desperate, not knowing where to go. Suddenly, he heard a voice saying, "Hey, you there, why are you crying?" The old king looked around, but there was no one there. The voice said it again, "Hey, you there, why are you crying?" Startled, the old king replied, "Who said that?" The voice said, "I'm here, come and meet me." The old king followed the sound and saw a small mouse. "Why are you crying?" The mouse asked again. The old king explained everything to the mouse and said he had nowhere to go. The mouse listened patiently and then said, "Don't worry, I will help you." The mouse led the old king to a hole in the ground and told him to crawl inside. It was dark and dusty, but the old king didn't care. He was desperate for a place to stay. When he finally crawled out, he found himself in a huge cave filled with treasure. There were bags of gold coins and precious jewels everywhere. The old king couldn't believe his eyes. He had never seen so much wealth in his life. Then the mouse spoke again. "Take all this treasure and go back to your kingdom. You can build a new and even better one with it." The old king thanked the mouse for its help and took as much treasure as he could carry. He returned to the village where his kingdom used to be and started to rebuild it. This time, he made sure to make it a better place for everyone. He built schools and hospitals and made laws that were fair for all of his subjects. Many years passed, and the old king grew very old. He knew his time had come, and he was ready to die. Before that, though, he called all the people in his kingdom to tell them something. He told them about the mouse that had helped him find the treasure and made him a better ruler. Then he told them he wanted to leave his kingdom to his son. The people were happy with the king's choice and accepted his son as the new ruler. The moral of this story is that no matter how powerful or successful we are, we should never forget to be humble and kind. Also, we shouldn't judge others by their appearance because even the smallest creature can be wise and helpful.